Member Eskamani, you recognize the debate.
Thank you so much, Chair. I want to acknowledge the heaviness of this, especially for the women in my caucus and the Black women in my caucus, because as you saw from many of the quotes that were shared today, they were deeply racist and offensive, demeaning and dehumanizing towards colleagues that I consider to be just remarkable, brilliant representatives of their districts. And so that's why this memorial, this remembrance bill is causing such reaction, because you can't rewrite you can't rewrite any history, but you essentially cannot rewrite modern current history. I mean, I was just perusing Mr. Kirk's YouTube channel, and, everything is baity. Everything's about getting a reaction, causing division. Charlie Kirk versus the Washington State woke mob. I mean, he uses the term woke and wokey many times throughout his YouTube channel. And I don't consider this to be civil discourse. I mean, I consider this to be attempts to go viral, to get likes so you can sell merchandise and basically profit off political division. Now, with that said, he had every right to do that, and no one should be murdered and assassinated and killed for any speech. And I think that if this memorial were to be more bipartisan and to acknowledge the fact that people on the left have also been murdered for their viewpoints, and I appreciate Rep. Tendring for uplifting that point in our colleagues in Minnesota, then I think you would have less contention over it, because you would at least acknowledge the reality for folks of all political spectrums. It is very overwhelming to be anyone who's vocal in politics, left or right. If you look at my Facebook page, and I firmly believe in the First Amendment, so despite constituents asking me to block people, I do not block them. And it has taken over. My Facebook page is just a bunch of memes. It's, efforts of putting me in devil costumes was the latest one. And I just let it happen. And I also try to poke fun of it, because I'm a firm believer that, you don't give people that type of, the reaction they're looking for. You try not to give it to them, right? At that same token, to have, of course, seen people celebrate his death, which is wrong, but then to also see folks who expressed, literally quoting Charlie Kirk's own words, and then lose their jobs, that is also wrong. And so we're just getting this, we're approaching this in the wrong ways all the time. And what an opportunity to have an actual conversation about civil discourse and de-escalation and political violence. But instead, there is an intentional effort to ignore his past words, to ignore the feelings that it draws for people, and to also not acknowledge the fact that, members, a few days ago, President Trump just shared one of the most racist social media postings in American history. The President of the United States shared an image, a video of President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes, which is not only a common racist trope, but we've seen that same type of dehumanization be used to demonize the Jewish community, to demonize Muslims, demonize so many different people. The othering, right? The othering is coming out of the White House. And so we need to be extra intentional when it comes to acknowledging this harm and also not repeating it. And I do worry that, though, of course, the intentions around uplifting the true tragedy of this young man's death alongside the importance of saying no to political violence is something that you have my alignment with 100%. But to write in this day of remembrance that he was the leader of civil discourse, I mean, you just take one look at his YouTube page, and that is not the case. This was not about discourse. This was about owning the libs and doing it for national audiences. And I don't want my children to embrace that type of mentality. It shouldn't be about owning one another. I'm not here to own a GOP or a conservative. I'm here to try to work on bills and get things done and build relationships and, try to deliver results for our constituents, solve problems that people are facing. And I do worry that we just continuously, for whatever reason, are adding to those flames versus acknowledging the harm that it's caused and trying to find something greater from it. So for those reasons, I'm going to have to be down your bill today, Rep. Thank you, Chair.